Hey, welcome. This is another Tactical Technician video from Diagnation. And this quick scope case study involved a 2007 Suzuki Gran Vitara that came in on a hook, a crank no start, a very low compression whine when it was cranking. Sounded smooth with not much deviation, but even. And I thought about a lot of things. I thought about maybe a timing belt jumped or something, or any issue that would prevent the engine from starting because of low compression. And my mindset was right off the bat, I went with relative compression and with a WPS 500 on the other channel. I wanted to go in the driver's bank, to the front spark plug on the driver's bank, and see what happens, just to get an idea where I was at with this, diagnostically, to make a decision. And as you can see, this is the capture from the cranking the vehicle from the with the transducer in the first cylinder on the driver's bank. And you could see something. If you notice, I thought about valve timing when I looked at this, when I wanted to analyze it. The relative compression doesn't look too great. I mean, obviously you don't see any wild anomalies, but there's very little compression. And I'm using a high amp clamp, as much as you would do to check relative compression. But I don't see anything that really jumps out. It's very hashy. That could be the starter has an issue possibly. But look at the blue. Look at the in-cylinder transducer on the front cylinder on the driver's bank. Look at the amount of compression, which is low. We'll get it down. That's about not enough compression to start an engine. Okay, we're right there. We're about 74 pounds of compression, obviously way too low, and I would expect that from the way the thing sounded. But I was more interested in the valve timing, to see what I can do with the scope to say if this thing had a pretty extreme valve timing issue. So I'm gonna do some vertical zoom on blue, and then I will set up some cursors, and we'll take a look at the pockets. I'm interested in the intake and exhaust pockets. So here we go. We're going to take the cursors, and I will go to right here. That's 0 degrees. I go to 720. We're looking at a fire cycle for this cylinder on the driver's bank. And I will set up some rulers, and then here we go. 4 rulers. This is a 6-cylinder, a 2.7 liter. Obviously, you can see 6 pulls in red. Compression events. They're not very noticeable. Obviously, we don't have much compression here. But I wanted to see when the exhaust valve opened and when the intake valve opened. So if I'm going to go and run take a measurement here, from here to bottom dead center on the end of the power stroke, to right when that exhaust valve jumps off its seat. And I may stretch it a little more to get more granularity on that exhaust pocket. So I'll pull this up, and there we go. And there's the exhaust valve. Looks like it's got a nice definition. It pops off his seat, and the amount of degrees we're looking at is about 34.94 degrees. Now I don't know the spec. Usually exhaust valves come off the seat between 35 and 55. Okay. I wouldn't say that's egregiously bad. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't look. I was out on the run diagnosing this car, and let me move that over a little bit. I don't want to cheat here. Okay, that's about about 25 degrees before bottom dead center. I don't see that extremely bad. I don't know. I don't know the spec, and this is cranking, but I say to myself, well, I wouldn't say this is an egregious valve timing error. So what I want to do now is I want to get the intake, and I will show you the other bank also. So let me just get some more vertical zoom, because we've got to stretch this to get the intake, because we're cranking. It's not very well defined cranking. We can see it right around here. So I'm going to go about right here, and then about right to top dead center, and see what that is. Okay. What is that? You can see the little, well, I'll give you some more vertical zoom so you can see. It's not as noticeable as an exhaust pocket, but nonetheless, it's something. You can see right there, there's a little drop there. That's about 19, that's about 20 degrees now. I would almost say that's in the normal range. I mean, I said that's not egregious. And so I have to say, hey, I want to look at the other bank and then I'll make a decision about valve timing. So I go back to look at the other bank. This is the driver's bank. I want the passenger bank for this Suzuki Gran Vitara. And then we're gonna decide what to do. We're making a decision. Let me get back to that, baby. That was on the 4th. 1-4. All right, 1-4. Okay, that was the driver's side. I want to get the passenger side for that Suzuki. We'll see what that looks like as far as our numbers, our angles that the valve action was happening. Okay, oh, we got a real thick, got a little WPS that likes to be thick at times. Okay, we'll filter that. Okay, there's our WPS. Here is our amount of degrees that we are off the seat. This is the exhaust valve opening. And how many degrees is that? That's about, well, that's about 26, which isn't too bad. Was when the exhaust valve opened. The intake valve open. I don't, you know what, I may get another screen. I don't crazy about this one. I did take another one of the passenger side. It's just it's a better capture. Sometimes the WPS gets thick. I don't know what causes that. And the battery was fully charged. When I use it, maybe an issue. 1-4. Okay, 1-4. Passenger side. Let me see another one. Okay. Let me see that one. Let me see this one. This is the passenger side. Let's see what this side looks like. Okay, we're still a little thick, but let's take some filter on there and we get a better. See if we can do that better. Okay, here we are on the. We can see our compression is pretty much. We'll filter that so we can look at that. Not major anomalies, but not much compression because obviously this thing didn't have much compression. I want to concentrate on those pockets again. So let me set some rulers up. I'll set up 4 rulers. Okay, and I'll go to where that exhaust valve, well, I'm gonna set some vertical zoom. Oops, by the way, the green channel is our vacuum pulls, and they don't seem to be too bad. Okay, they're not egregiously poor, but there we go. And now we got a pocket here. That's an exhaust valve opening, and here is the other end of it. So how much? We're looking at about 26 degrees. We had about 24 on the other one, which is pretty close. Let me give it vertical zoom. We'll get the intake measured before this computer goes out. Okay. Okay. There's our intake, pretty much the intake opening right about here and here, as that is top dead center. And I want to look for, I could see the deviate, see it move down a little bit. I could give it more vertical zoom, but you can see the little notch when that's starting to change. That's about 17 degrees. That's almost within, similar to the other side was 20, and I'm going to deem that pretty close. Bottom line with this car, this thing had flooded itself and it lost compression. Now, I didn't take a crankcase vacuum waveform. I probably should have, but I was on the run and had to get a diagnosis done. But basically, what I did was I put my right foot down on the throttle and gave it a clear flood and just turned the key on. In about 15 seconds of cranking, I could hear the thing start to build up compression. I could hear the combustion process starting. and I could see the smoke coming out the tailpipe, and that put sound, and eventually the engine ran. And I drove it and cleared it out, and checked it out. I did end up checking the crank signal and didn't notice anything wrong with it. Basically, the Suzuki Fortaleza, no, I'm sorry, the Suzuki, what did I say? This is a Suzuki Swift. They do have I'm sorry, Gran Vitara. This is a Gran Vitara. They have a proclivity to flood sometimes. It could be, maybe there's an issue with a crank, it doesn't get the right ingredients for combustion, and problems just keeps getting exacerbated with more fuel and no combustion. Those things don't get better, they get worse. But nonetheless, I told the customer opted not to have any more diagnosis done. And I told him about the clear flood mode, should he ever get in trouble again. Right foot down, crank it away, and see if he can get the thing started. Anyway, that's something always to be mindful of before you deem an engine bad, is look at those angles. And if usually on a timing chain that's jumped, a timing belt that's jumped, the banks wouldn't be as even, and you'd see some really heavy skewing on the exhaust pocket and the intake pocket. All right, signing off from Diag Nation. Thank you very much.